When is the best time to start your pressure washing business? That is the question that we're going to be answering in this video. I'm also going to go over the flow of the season. So when the busier times of the year are, when the slower times of the year are, how to beat the slow times, and the groundwork that you need to lay in order to have the most successful launch of your business possible. So if all that sounds good, hit the thumbs up button for me. But if you're looking to start a wash business this year, then you need to check out the How to Wash 2 course. It'll be the first link in the comment section and the description. This is your ultimate guide to both commercial and residential pressure washing, from apartments to parking garages, roofs to concrete. This brand new class teaches you exactly which chemicals to use, how to mix them, the equipment and processes that you need to clean every single surface. With over 8 hours of step-by-step training, you're going to master the techniques to clean smarter, avoid costly mistakes, which is ultimately going to boost your profits. So whether you're just starting or you're looking to scale your business, be sure to check it out. First link in the comment section and the description, and lock in the founders deal. We're doing a very special price for the first few people to jump on this. Now, let's talk a little bit about the job, and then I'm going to get into the specifics on when you should ultimately start your business. So first and foremost, this is a cold day. You guys can probably see this from the footage. I'm pretty bundled up, and that's what kind of inspired this video. Obviously, we do work in the cold. If it's colder than freezing, we won't work. But here in Louisiana, luckily, it doesn't get that cold that often. So in this video, you guys are going to see a little bit of a house wash, mostly a driveway cleaning. And yeah, this was a job that we did in the winter, and it inspired me. Like, when is the best time to start a pressure washing business? So that's what we're going to kind of uncover in this video. And if you stick around to the end, I'm also going to give you the best way to get 10 times more tips and 5-star reviews that I did on this job, and it ultimately worked. We got a tip and a 5-star review. So beautiful way to be, beautiful way to go. And I'm going to give you guys that tip if you hang around until the end of the video. Now, before we can decide when the best time of the year is to start this business, we need to look at the flow of the season. So basically, the flow of the season kind of comes in 3-month swings, which you guys are going to see here in just a second. I want to start with December, though. December, January, February. As you guys can imagine, it's a little bit of a slower time. We're obviously going through Christmas, holiday season, New Year's, and transitioning into the spring. Now, once we get into March, April, and May, this is when we get into our busiest season. Obviously, pollen's coming in. It's getting warmer. The snow's going away in some parts of the United States, and it's really time to get going with your wash business. And then we kind of transition into the summer months. We got June, July, and August. And towards the end of August is really when we get that summer slowdown. Typically, summer for us is pretty steady, not as busy as the spring, obviously, but it's very steady. And then towards like that back to school time, for whatever reason, everything kind of drops off because everybody's getting geared up to get back into school. And then we get into our last 3-month swing, which is September, October, and November. And this is where it really picks up again. We noticed a monster pickup right before Thanksgiving this year, and yeah, this is where we get a little bit more busy. This is where we kind of get out of that summer slump and we get back into the busy season. So that's pretty much how the year works, right? December, January, February, slow. March, April, May, busiest. June, July, August, a little bit of a summer slowdown. And then September, October, November, we get that ramp up kind of into the end of the year. So how do we beat the slow times? Because this is one of the important things. Before we can kind of figure out when to start, we need to know, obviously, first and foremost, how do we win when, maybe things are a little bit more inconsistent throughout the year. First and foremost, we need to dial in our lead flow. Okay, so we want to make sure that we have more than one lead source. A lot of the people that I talk to, a lot of people that get into me and Mike's one-on-one coaching, which I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about here in a second, they all have like 1 or 2 lead sources. They're not happy with their lead flow. They're not making the money that they want to make. They're getting stuck and hung up on jobs that they lost out on because either they didn't quote enough or they quoted too much, whatever the case may be. But they're focused on these things because they don't have enough lead flow coming into their business. So if that sounds like you, that's probably your issue. You either have 1 or 2 lead sources, and one of those is probably word of mouth, which isn't really a lead source. I would look at that more of like a bonus, right? So if you don't have some kind of a structure for how your lead flow is coming in, that's your first problem. And that's one of the foundational pieces for how we can actually get revved up in our business, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. So in order to combat the slow times, we want to make sure that we have a blend of being where people are searching for pressure washing, in this case, as well as getting in front of people who aren't necessarily searching, but might still be in the market if they were given a good price. And basically what this is intent marketing and interruption marketing. And we want to kind of master both of these things. So that way we have a good blend of lead flow coming in from people that aren't ready to actively search for it, but we're getting in front of them, and people that are actively searching for it that we can, take advantage of that intent and get that business. Now, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about with regards to any of this, be sure to check out me and Mike's one-on-one coaching. I'll leave it down below in the comment section. We literally have 4 different courses within the one-on-one coaching specifically focused on getting customers and diving super deep into everything that me and Mike do, so that way you can copy it and replicate it into your business, because it's proven tactics that we've implemented for a long time. So step number 1 is to dial in your lead flow to beat slow times. Step number two is going to be to lean in on your list of existing business. So if you don't have a list of existing business because you're just getting started, then that's one of the things you want to focus on. A beautiful thing to focus on whenever you're first getting started to build that list is your friends and family first and foremost, and building out those people, because those people know, like, and trust you, and they're going to be most likely to hire you for your first jobs, right? So have a list for the slow times, and if you don't have one, build it with friends and family first and foremost. And this is why you need a tool like Quote IQ. Quote IQ can help you keep track of customers, send estimates, invoices, and collect payments all for free, and you can download it down below. You can also try any paid tier of Quote IQ right now for $1 at myquoteiq.com. I'll have a link for that down below as well. But you never want to lose a customer again. If we think about how much time, money, energy, and effort went into acquiring a customer, we would really realize that that is the lifeblood of our business, and we never want to lose out on those customers again. Another beautiful thing that Quote IQ does for free is it keeps all of your estimates, invoices, as well as any inspection forms that you fill out under the customer's profile, so that way you can always go back and refer to those later. So number two way to beat the slow time, lean in on your list of existing business or existing contacts. Number three is you want to have a service list that changes with the time of year, because with the time of year change, people's needs change essentially. And if we only offer the things that we want to offer because it's what we want to offer, we'll go out of business, because at the end of the day, we're here to provide value for the customer. And if the customer's needs change, then so does our offering. So a lot of guys will go from washing to gutter cleaning to Christmas lighting. That is kind of the flow for a lot of pressure washing business. There are some other services that, people will offer in here, but for the most part, wash, gutter clean, Christmas light seems to be a route that a lot of guys go down. Now, one of the things you want to keep in mind is what do customers need and how can I offer that service to them? Because wherever there's a big need at and there's not a lot of fulfillment for that need, that's where the money's going to be. And so that's ultimately where you want to keep your eyes peeled for. Now, number four way to kind of beat these slower times is to stack recurring commercial work for consistent year-round work, essentially. So restaurants, dumpster pads, things of that nature, things that you might not necessarily make a ton of money on, but you're able to do them recurring and make good money with them. So these are the things that you want to stack up, so that way you never hit any of these kind of really slow times. You're pretty much consistent throughout the entire year. Number five is going to be to push the jobs that don't need to be done immediately into these slower times. So you can do this with recurring work. You can do this with large commercial jobs. You can do this just with commercial jobs in general. Sometimes people will say, we just need to get it done before the end of the year. And you could say, great, I'll give you 10% discount if we push this into December, right? Because we know December is going to be a slow time. Or if we push it into August, because we know August is going to be a slow time. And then the last one is you want to build a plan early, okay? Don't wing it. Don't say, we'll get there when we get there. These slow seasons come about every single year. So if you can solve it on year one, then you're going to give yourself, higher likelihood for success on every single other year that you're in business. Now, if you only want to be in business for 1 year, obviously wing it. If you want to be in business for longer, then it takes a little bit of getting uncomfortable. Okay. So that was the 6 things that you can do in the slow times, right? First and foremost, we need to dial in our lead flow. We need to be diversified with our lead flow. Number 2, we need to lean in on our list of existing business. Number 3, we need to have service lists that change depending on the time of year and depending upon what our customers need. 4, we need to stack recurring work for consistent year-round work. And then number 5, we need to push those jobs that aren't needing to be done immediately into the slower times. And then lastly, 6, we need to build our plan and we need to work our plan year over year. Like I said, it might be a little uncomfortable in the beginning, kind of figuring out all the services, figuring all this stuff out. And that's basically why me and Mike have our one-on-one coaching. So you guys can tell us all your problems. We can help you out because we've been there, we've done that, and we've basically put together the playbook on it. So if we look at the whole thing, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, right? But the second best time is today. And the same thing is true about your business. If we would have started this business 20 years ago, it's like, wow, man, we'd really be ahead of the time. But there's no better time to start than right now. Okay. So with that being said, if you haven't started already, you need to. But let's get into the groundwork that needs to be laid in order for us to start our business. Because you might be like, Justin, look, it's too cold here, or Justin, it's not the right time of year, or Justin, I don't have the funds together, whatever the case may be, whatever those excuses are. Let's talk about these groundwork pieces that we can start laying right now that'll lay the foundation for us to ultimately start our business, no matter what time of year we're in. First and foremost, we need to get our name picked. And names actually really, really do matter. This is something that me and Mike harp on within that coaching. And there's certain things you can do with your name to give you a competitive advantage over your competition. Another thing that you need to do with regards to laying that groundwork is you need to build your online presence. Okay. So get all these social media things out of the way, start posting on them, start, getting your profile set up, build that social media presence. So that way when people find you and they search you and they look for other things about you, it's not just one little flyer or one little business card, or whatever the case may be. The next thing is we need to get our LLC. We need to make sure we have a solid business structure in place. Unless you want to run this like a side hustle and you don't want to run it like a legitimate business, but you're always going to be stuck in side hustle money if you run it like a side hustle. We also need to get insurance, right? The last thing you want to do is, blow a hole through somebody's window or throw a rock or get bleach on something that doesn't need to be bleached. So have insurance in place to cover your butt in instances that are unforeseen. We've thrown water behind an outlet before because it wasn't properly, sealed up, and, there was almost a fire that was started and we had to call an electrician. Like, you can get into a lot of bad things with some of these businesses, and it's better to be covered than not to be. Also, you can start running some ads selling into pre-bookings. If it's too cold right now, say, hey, we're doing a 10% off special. We're doing a 15% off special for anybody who pre-books for the spring. And then we can start filling up the calendar. This is work that can be done right now. We can also do some jobs for free. We could test chemicals. We could test equipment if, you're in a time or season that allows you to do that. I highly recommend you do some jobs in the beginning for free, and you do some jobs just to get your feet under you, right? Figure out what the processes are, figure out what the chemicals do, figure out how long things take, build out your processes, especially if you're not looking at the How to Wash 2 course, which we go over. And we actually put in SOPs for every single thing on a residential property. So SOPs on roof washing, house washing, driveway cleaning, basically lay out step by step exactly what to do. So like I said, check that out if you haven't already. But last thing is, you want to build a game plan and stick to it. And like I said, that's why me and Mike harp on the one-on-one coaching so much, because we literally lay out everything that you can do in order to get business, everything you can do with regards to quoting, everything that you can do with regards to landing jobs and doing these kind of things. And if you don't have a game plan put in place, then you're basically building your business on something that's not a solid foundation. You want proven principles that you can implement into your business. And that's what we try to give you guys within that one-on-one coaching. That's what I try to give you guys within these videos. So if you're somebody who doesn't want to join a coaching group, you can obviously watch these videos and put everything together. But the biggest thing is that you put together a plan, and that you have a plan, and that you pivot if the plan doesn't work, because 99% of the people that I talk to that aren't happy with how their business is currently performing, they have no plan. They do everything on a whim, everything on, how I feel right now, and they're getting jobs through word of mouth and, maybe one other way, and they're just not happy with how things are going, and it's because they don't have the discipline, okay? One of my favorite quotes by my buddy RJ is, your discipline is your destiny. How disciplined you can be is ultimately how successful that you're going to be as well. So we want to make sure that we start today. We want to make sure that we start fast, and you're going to thank me later if you go ahead and do those things. So if you made this far in the video, comment down below, I'm starting today, and mean it, really mean it. I literally laid out all the things that you could start doing today in order to start building up this business. So now let's get into the bonus of this video. I did mention, if you guys stayed until the end, I'm going to tell you about how I get more tips and more 5-star reviews, and I do something for free on every single property. So on this particular property, we went to the back. I noticed that the back patio was super dirty. Basically, the whole back side of this house was extremely dirty. It looked like it hadn't been cleaned in a really long time. And so we had to double treat or triple treat the back. We actually had to up the percentage. We got a brush to kind of like agitate some of the algae just because it had been there for so long. And so I had some extra time, and I said, you know what, I'm going to knock out this back patio. So I went ahead and knocked out the back patio. Whenever I went and knocked on the door, I said, hey, everything's taken care of. We made everything look great for you. One thing that we did do extra, I noticed your back patio needed to be cleaned up a little bit. So I just went ahead and hit it for you. And she was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. She ended up tipping me, I think, 20, 30 bucks. I said, hey, can you give us a 5-star review? Absolutely. So 5-star review, got a tip. If you guys want to be able to do that, do a little something for free. Tell them about it. They're going to be super happy, super excited about it. Just say, hey, went ahead and threw it in. Don't worry about it. So if you made it this far in the video, comment down below. I'm starting today. Mean it. Let's get into it. Check out all the resources I have for you guys in the comment section description. But until next time, my name is Justin, forever self-employed. Hustle hard and get that money, baby. Peace.